All right, the Sunshaw and Hawkins case, 262-201-6729. I believe both parties are on Zoom. Ms. Sunshaw, good afternoon. Can you hear me okay?
I got captions, Your Honor.
Okay, and are you comfortable with those captions?
Yes.
All right. Do you need anything from me in order to make sure you have access and full access to the hearing today?
Not because I have captions.
All right. Ms. Hawkins, are you present? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Are you ready to go with the substantive hearing today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Sunshaw, are you ready to proceed with the full hearing today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Sunshaw, it's your petition. I'll hear argument from you first. Go ahead, ma'am.
I'm asking the court to enter the full protection order against respondent Megan Hawkins because what began more than 2 years ago as covert recording has escalated into the sustained cross-platform campaign of harassment that now reaches my minor children. I will stand by my declarations, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Hawkins.
Yes, ma'am. I have never harmed Emma Sunshaw. I have not released any private information regarding Emma Sunshaw. I've never threatened her or her children or her family in any way. I've never been influenced by drugs or alcohol in the presence of Emma. And I live in the state of Missouri. And I feel as if this is an abuse of power, being that she was my therapist. She, in the PO, offered up HIPAA information, things that I had provided to her in therapy, using against me in this PO. And this has been I have been advocating for myself because she is a public figure and she hurt me, and she has falsified and falsely represented herself in the trauma community.
Anything else, Ms. Hawkins?
Yes, ma'am. I currently have 4 complaints against the Missouri Board against Emma Sunshaw's license for insurance fraud and for the things that I stated in my declaration, for exploiting me, and what I posted on the internet were book titles and covers that she had published of her children with their names and their photos, for exploiting her children for public information that I had obtained for foreclosures. So she's written books in order to make money and profit off of her children. That is the only way that her children came up. I never have threatened to cause any harm to Emma. It's my belief that this is all in retaliation to my Missouri complaints, Idaho complaints, tax evasion complaints. All I have done is stated in video format on social media what I have done and the actions that I have taken against Emma Sunshaw.
Ms. Hawkins, do you mind if I ask you a question?
Yes, Your Honor.
I did review all of your material. I've reviewed your response. Do you agree with Ms. Sunshaw's assertion that some of the social media platforms have taken down the posts?
Yes, the audio recordings of her and my therapy sessions have been removed per her request.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Hawkins. Ms. Sunshaw, anything from you? You're the moving party, so you get the last word on argument.
I stand by my declarations that this information is being weaponized in an aggregated way and also out of context and misconstrued conclusions that are accusatory and inaccurate.
All right. Ms. Sunshaw, what's the relationship with Kara Nielsen?
Kara was a participant in the symposium and a previous client.
All right. And I did see your responsive declaration about her involvement. Okay. Thank you both. I appreciate all the material. You both gave me a lot to review and consider with respect to both the petition and Ms. Hawkins' responsive petition. I am granting a protection order, not to the full extent that it was requested, but I am finding a basis and I am finding preponderance of the evidence of unlawful harassment based on what's contained in the petition to grant limited relief. The relief is going to be no contact with Ms. Sunshaw and no contact with the minors. I'm not going to restrain Ms. Hawkins from filing complaints and pursuing legal means of complaints through any kind of licensing organizations. I wouldn't have a legal way to restrain that. I also don't have a legal way to restrain Ms. Hawkins' freedom of speech under the First Amendment. I am not going to restrain her from posting publicly. Those posts cannot be threatening, but I am not finding any evidence to support that her posts have been unlawful pursuant to the First Amendment. I do find that the unlawful and unconsensual recording of the sessions provides a basis for me to grant a protection order, and because it's in kind of a limited sense, that's why let me rephrase. I'm finding a legal basis to grant a limited harassment order, but I do find aspects of the petition that I cannot restrain and I'm not going to restrain that were complaints. I do want to type up this order. I'm going to take a minute to do so, and then I'll circle back and try to answer any questions from either of you. Give me just a minute.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Printing. Thank you. All right, Ms. Hawkins, this order is going to be in place for 1 year until or unless it's modified by a court of law. The expiration will be April 27th, 2027. While this order is in place, you're to have no contact with Ms. Sunshaw or her minors. The two minors that are named in the petition are Barrett and Kyrie. You're to have no contact with them, directly or indirectly. Indirect contact is like social media, email, text message. You're also not to pass messages to them through third parties. I'm requiring you not cause them any physical harm, no bodily injury. You're not to harass, threaten, or stalk them. I am requiring that you stay 1,000 feet away from the protected person and her residence and the residence daycare school of the minors. Ms. Hawkins, I'm required to tell you that violations of this order can subject you to criminal law penalties. I have limited the requested relief in recognition of the fact that you're taking some action with the licensing bars, and I'm not meaning to restrain you from doing so. If you think you have a valid complaint, you're able to pursue that. I'm also not meaning to infringe on your First Amendment rights. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, Your Honor, I do. The YouTube audio recordings of our therapy sessions has been removed. Mm-hmm. However, on Instagram, there are still audio recordings there. Can those remain, or am I limited to not ever doing it anymore? Or what's the reason why? Whoops, I don't even need to go there. Excuse me. Yes, ma'am. But
if what I'm finding, Ms. Hawkins, is if those recordings were taken without Ms. Sunshaw's consent or approval, then I'm requiring that they be taken down. And I'll tell you that ruling is consistent with Washington. I know some of your response had some briefing about Missouri.
Right.
One-party consent, and I don't know whether or not Missouri will consider those recordings for purposes of your complaints. Washington's a two-party recording consent requirement, and so I am including a requirement that if there are recordings that were taken with only one party's consent, that they be removed and taken down.
Okay, yes, but another part of this is that Ms. Sunshaw moved to Washington in February of 2025. We were in therapy in 2023 until the end of 2025. She was in Idaho, which is a one-party recording state also.
I appreciate the clarification. If there are recordings that were made while one of you was in Washington, I'm requiring those to be taken down.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Any other points of clarification or questions, Ms. Hawkins?
I'm good. Thank you, Your Honor.
I don't think I told you this. I'm required to tell you that violations of this order can subject you to criminal law penalties. I went over the terms of the order. I haven't read the full order to you, and it's important that you get a copy of the order and review it carefully. Ms. Sunshaw, do you have any questions for me?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. You both can get copies of this order by calling the Skagit County Clerk's office. And take care of yourselves, okay?